This week marked 10 years since Dangerous Woman was released, and Ariana and all the Arianators have just been reminiscing on this album and era. So I thought it was time I joined in and reminded you guys how iconic Ariana Grande was during the Dangerous Woman era. What a time to be alive in 2016 when this album dropped. Released on the 20th of May 2016, Ariana's third studio album titled Dangerous Woman is a pop and R&B record. This album incorporates dance, soul, trap, reggae, electropop, and all that gloriness. Themes on this album include relationships, female empowerment, career success, women, feminism. This is definitely one of my most favorite Ariana eras to talk about, so let's just get straight into it. So if you didn't know, after the release of My Everything, Ariana actually teased on Twitter to her fans that she was working on her third studio album. Ariana is one of those artists that loves being in the studio. A lot of artists love being in the studio, of course, the artists, but Ariana is constantly always working on music, and I think she proved that a lot with the Dangerous Woman album. Also on the Dangerous Woman tour, I'm going far ahead, but on the Dangerous Woman tour, she was literally working on Sweetener. So if you don't know anything about Ariana Grande, know that she loves making music. When she teased working on her third studio album on Twitter, she revealed to us that the title would be Moonlight. Now, everyone was just like, oh my goodness, Moonlight. Ariana was called Moonlight Bay on Snapchat. Moonlight is Ariana's thing. If you don't know, get to know. It's been her thing since the beginning of her career. She's always loved like moonlight, clouds, the white heart, that aesthetic. So fans were excited. But then she later revealed in a Jimmy Kimmel interview that she was no longer calling it Moonlight, and it was now going to be Dangerous Woman, named after one of the songs on this album. I think most of us will agree that Dangerous Woman is an insane album title, and I think it's just so fitting for this record. I feel like Moonlight would have been cute, but I don't know, Dangerous Woman, especially for your third studio album, Ariana was making her mark as the pop queen, as the girl that runs pop, and I think Dangerous Woman was the perfect album title for that. Moonlight wouldn't have given the same energy, and look at how she looks in this album cover. It doesn't give Moonlight, it gives Dangerous Woman. I'm just so excited to talk about this era because this was the time that I still had my Bieber stan account, but it was kind of becoming a little bit more Ariana-fied, Arianata-fied, I don't know if that's a word. Ariana actually followed me like a year before this album came out, so I was deep in my Arianata stan Twitter era, and I was 17. I was getting excited for this new album. It was just such a great time to be alive. So yeah, I'm excited. Stay tuned for part 2. In the US, Dangerous Woman debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200. This made it Ariana's first album to fail to reach number 1, and I say fail in quotation marks because I think reaching number 2 is an incredible achievement for any artist, especially this is her third album. She was 22 at this time. That's an achievement, but she was actually blocked by Drake's Views at the time, and of course Views was huge. Like 2016 was Drake's year, so it's no surprise that Drake got the number 1, but I still think number 2 is incredible on the Billboard 200 for a 22-year-old on her third album. It topped the charts in many other countries, but in the UK, it made number 1 on the official albums charts, and I'm just saying, Ariana is loved over here a lot, so I'm not surprised by that. But it also made Dangerous Woman her first number 1 album here in the UK. As you can imagine, Scooter Braun had Ariana working overtime to promote this album. She was doing everything and anything. She was doing radio interviews, TV interviews, appearances, performances, including an SNL performance, performances at award shows such as the MTV Movie Awards. Ariana was working very, very hard to promote this record. When discussing the album title during interviews, Ariana said she changed it to Dangerous Woman because she wanted to portray herself as a stronger woman and to empower fans. And I think she literally achieved that with this record. One thing that I will forever give Ariana her 10s for is the consistent messaging that she portrays throughout all of her album eras. She knows how to consistently drive home a message, whether she's showcasing that through her style, through her interviews, through her tours, performances, the music, her album eras. She consistently keeps the message, and I think that's what makes an era for me. I think a lot of artists do it, but some artists fail to keep up the consistent messaging. But Ariana continued to showcase how important it was for her fans to know where she stood politically, with her views on feminism, with her views on loving everyone. That shows that she takes her artistry very, very seriously. Like, this is not a game for Ariana. Like, she is not new to this. She's true to this. When Ariana stands on business, she stands on business, whether that's with her political views or with what she says in her music. She is that girl. You guys know what I mean, right? Like, Dangerous Woman is a feminist album, you know? It's a really feminist album, and it just showcases how much female empowerment means to Ariana and how much she wants that to portray in her music, so that message can drive home to her fans and that they can understand and learn to love themselves and appreciate women all over the world just as she does. Stay tuned for part 3. I remember where I was when Ariana announced that she was touring Dangerous Woman, and I was gagged because this would have been my first time seeing Ariana. So I was like, I need to be there, you know? This album is incredible. So I was like, I need to see Ariana on stage. Did I end up going? No, I did not. I had an exam that day. I was doing my A-levels during this era, guys, and an exam fell on the date that I was going to go see Ariana, so I couldn't go to the Dangerous Woman tour. But if any of you guys went, please let me know how you found it, because I just watched all the videos of everyone and, you know, the beautiful memories that Ariana created on this tour, and I'm just like, I missed out. But, you know, I think this tour was beautiful, like from the visuals to like the whole synopsis of this concert and how it is like played out. I love so much the female interlude with Ariana in like that blonde hair, and she's like in this like lacy bodysuit, and the pink balloons falling to the greedy money. If anyone has greedy money, like, I'm so jealous. I think on Sweetener Tour, she did something similar as well, but I wasn't close enough to receive anything. Yeah, I think the concept of this tour was so beautiful. Ariana would announce that she would be starting her Dangerous Woman tour on the 3rd of February 2017. Props to everyone who took part in the stage design and the choreography, costume design, just the whole production of this show. Props to you guys, because you did a phenomenal job. And if you are like intrigued about the Dangerous Woman tour and how everything came to be, I highly recommend that you watch the Dangerous Woman Diaries on Ariana's channel. It is so good, guys. Like, you get to see an insight into the behind the scenes of this tour, the choreography, the making of like the whole set and the production, and just, I don't know, like a fun side, you know, to see all the work that was put into making this tour what it was. However, unfortunately, as most of you guys will know, just 3 months into this tour, at Ariana's Manchester concert, that's when the bombing happened and 22 lives were taken at Ariana's show and families were destroyed forever. This was honestly such a trippy time, I think, for the world, and of course for all the victims and everyone that was involved and there at the concert during that time. It's just so heartbreaking. Like, still to this day, I get shivers when I see those videos of, you know, everyone running from the arena. Due to this, Ariana put the rest of the tour on pause temporarily, and then she later would hold a benefit concert at Etihad Stadium in Manchester. I think when it was announced that Ariana was doing a benefit concert, everyone was like, oh my goodness, like, wow, and all those types of things, which obviously it was an amazing turnout, and I'm going to talk about the benefit concert in the next video. But I just think the strength that Ariana showed to put on this show, like right after this traumatic, tragic event, is just honestly incredible. This was so shocking for the world and like everyone, and especially Mancunians. Like, I just remember everyone being so shook and just not okay. But this tragic event was a catalyst for higher security at concerts. Most big artists at shows would require you to carry like a clear bag into the concert. I'm not sure if that's like a hard and fast rule now. I pretty much always have like a clear bag when I'm going to shows, especially big concerts, but it made security at concerts a lot stronger, which of course is very, very important. But it's just sad that, you know, something like this, I guess, had to happen for people to kind of take those measures a lot more seriously. It's been 9 years since this tragic event, and you know, people are still affected till this day. So all I wish for anyone that was at this concert is nothing but healing and happiness and peace throughout the rest of their lives, because no one should have to go to a concert of an artist that they love and either leave fearing for their life or losing a loved one or losing their own life. You know, it's still so upsetting. It makes you at a loss for words, quite literally. But if any of you guys were at this show, still sending you so much love. Stay tuned for part 4. The One Love Manchester benefit concert was the most beautiful atmosphere that I've ever experienced at a concert in my entire life. And I wasn't even attending this concert. I actually worked as event staff at this concert. I needed to find a way to get into the show because I knew it would be a beautiful, beautiful evening. I didn't attend the Manchester concert, so I didn't get tickets. I think everyone that attended the concert got free tickets. And then maybe you could have purchased tickets. I can't really remember, but at the time I decided to work the event instead. And fun fact, guys, I actually was working on the bar when Ariana was rehearsing for the benefit concert, and she was literally rehearsing Be Alright. Me and my sister walked like close, not to the stage because we would have got told off, but me and my sister kind of walked outside of the bar and like tried to get Ariana's attention. We were like waving at her. Guys, she literally smiled at us and laughed. Like, no word of a lie, Ari saw us when we were like waving at her. Back to the benefit concert. It was the most beautiful atmosphere ever. Ariana was there, Miley was there. I think I have a picture actually. This is a picture that I took of Miley and Ariana singing. It was just a beautiful, beautiful show, guys. The sun had set, it wasn't raining. The atmosphere was honestly like I'd never seen before, you know? And I can imagine it was so like healing for a lot of the victims' families that were there and just everyone that had been affected by the concert bombing. Justin Bieber was there. I was excited about that, of course. He was only there for like, he did one song and then he left. He didn't even stay till the end, which I was like a bit bummed about, but you know, there were so many artists that showed up. Miley Cyrus, Victoria Monet, Little Mix, Black Eyed Peas, just so many artists came out to show support, and I think that meant a lot to everyone and Ariana. I cannot praise this woman enough. Like, you guys are gonna think I'm so biased because obviously I love her down, but honestly, she showed so much grace, so much strength. To show that much strength and grace in such adversity when you've just been like, I can't even imagine the feeling. I don't know, nothing but respect for my queen, Ariana. And like I said in the previous video, everyone that was affected and that was actually at the Manchester concert bombing, I literally wish you guys nothing but peace and healing and like safety and happiness, because that is just a traumatic event that no one can even imagine experiencing. This definitely made Ariana a lot more popular in the general public, I believe. She even became like honorary Mancunian for like the love that she showed the city and just everything that she did, you know, to support the victims and the families of the tragic event. And I think what's crazy is a lot of people forget how young Ariana Grande was when this happened. She was 23 years old. Imagine being 23 years old and you put on a show and 22 of your fans literally die at your show. That is not something that you can just get over. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is something that a lot of people would never recover from. And the fact that Ariana can still go on tour like till this day just shows like the strength and the love that she has for her fans and for her music. Stay tuned for part 5. Let's talk about Ariana's tour fits for Dangerous Woman tour, because I think she had an incredible costume collection on this tour. And she worked with Law Roach, who she will be working with on the Eternal Sunshine tour, so I'm really excited for that. But she worked with her stylist, Law Roach, and she also worked with the designer, Brian Hearns, and they both collaborated to create a more mature and grown-up version of Ari. This has to be my absolute favourite look from the Dangerous Woman tour, and potentially from this era in general. I think it is just so Ariana coded. From the high pony to the tan to the thigh-high booties and the mini skirt and bodysuit combo with the like diamante choker. I think her stylist and her designer ate with this one. This is like her opening look, you know, when she just comes on stage and when she's performing Be Alright. I just think it doesn't get any better than this. This is a great opener for the Dangerous Woman tour, you know? And Brian Hearns, the designer of pretty much all the costumes on this tour, he actually said that this look was inspired by Audrey Hepburn. And I think that is so on brand for Ariana. And what I love is that Audrey Hepburn is a style icon anyway, but Ariana has always talked about how much she loves Audrey Hepburn's aesthetic. And especially in the early stages of Ariana's career, she was wearing a lot of romantic 50s and 60s inspired looks that were taken from Audrey Hepburn and other icons alike. So I like that they incorporated someone that she looks up to in terms of style, but still made it Ariana's own. Because let's be serious, there's no other artist that can rock this look like Ariana Grande. Like the high pony, the thigh-high boots, and the miniskirt combo is Ariana Grande. It's Ariana Grande all over. No other artist knows how to rock this like Ari. Another tour outfit that I love is this one. I'm trying to remember what song she's performing here. It's Not Thinking About You. I can't remember what song it is, but is it Greedy? No, you guys are gonna have to remind me. But I think I love this look again. It's a little bit sultry with the bralette and the matching, like, is it a skirt? I think it's a mini skirt, again with the thigh-high booties and the high pony. It is just solidifying that this is Ariana's like Dangerous Woman rebrand. And yeah, I don't know, I just really like this look, and I love the color palette, you know. I think it's great because a lot of the looks on the Dangerous Woman tour aren't like super colorful. They're a lot like muted, dark colors, blacks, and different shades of like gray and things like that, just to emphasize that like sultry, sexy vibe, I think. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Greedy. This is the Greedy outfit because the green lights is giving Greedy. Just a powerful look, you know? It's just so cute. The fact that Ariana is still so small when she's wearing these high ass thigh-high boots is so funny to me. Now this, can we have a moment of silence for this look? I think this number is insane. Like the leather look with the fire in the back. I think this is the ending song, right? This is when she's performing Dangerous Woman. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, you know. I just think it ties in with her album cover, the whole title, the whole vibe and aesthetic and sexiness and the sultriness. It's the perfect final costume to wear on the tour, I think. I'm not gonna lie, this little moonlight jumpsuit wasn't my favorite. I felt like it was a little bit boring. I did like the shoes, but yeah, like I just was like, I don't know. They could have given me something more, you know? Ariana's street style throughout the rest of this era pretty much consisted of looks like this. She wore a lot of like crew neck jumpers, jeans, high heels, thigh-high boots. When she wasn't wearing thigh-high boots, she was wearing this kind of look. This is another look that Ariana sported when she's performing during this era. Don't particularly love it because the yellow coat is quite overpowering on her small frame. Ariana never wore jackets or coats properly during this era. She was always wearing them like off the shoulder in like such a lazy way, but that was part of her aesthetic. And the girls ate it up. Here's another example of what Ariana wore. I remember loving this picture down. I had it saved on my iPod at the time and I was just like, this is so inspo. Because 2016 had a very like Yeezy-esque style about it. So there were a lot of like tops like that and like thigh-high boots or thigh-high socks, and like denim jackets were being worn everywhere. So this picture really screams Snapchat 2016 Moonlight Bay. She looks incredibly small here. But again, another example of Ariana's style. Classic 2016 style with the oversized jumper and the thigh-high boots. When I think about this style, like the way girls in the UK, we couldn't wear like this. We could not dress like this because first of all, we'd get so many stares. And second of all, the weather here is not cut out for wearing jumpers as dresses. There was a time though that I went to a party and I wore like those like t-shirt dresses, so that was like a thing. I wore a t-shirt dress with thigh-high boots, and that was very Ariana inspired and very 2016 inspired of me. I think it even had a little choker as well. I can hear this image. I can literally hear Ariana saying, "And what about it?" Isn't this the meme when she's like, "And what about it?" When they're like, Ariana, Ariana, the paparazzi is saying something to her, and she just has like a diva, sassy response. Love. Her bangs, lace cropped, very cropped little top, and the choker. This was post donut licking era, wasn't it? So Ariana had some diva allegations in 2016. She definitely had some diva allegations during this time. This is part 5, so stay tuned for part 6. The cover art for Dangerous Woman is just très magnifique. It is just sensational. I can't think of a better album cover than this one in 2016. This was just the best one for me. I love the latex bunny ears. I just love the makeup and the choker, and she's just looking expensive yet glam and sexy, and she's just looking ready to take over the pop world, to be honest. The whole cover art is just nothing short of stunning. Trust me when I say this. When Ariana has a black and white album, you know it's going to be a sick one. You know it's going to be a bop. You know it's going to be amazing. That's how I know Petal is going to be insane. It's going to be just the best album ever, because Ariana and black and white go together real bad. This is news to me, but upon my research, Ariana stated that the bunny mask was kind of like an alter ego to her. The alter ego being Super Bunny. This is the first I've heard of it. I don't know if you Arianitas already knew this, but I was surprised to hear that this was kind of like her personifying this alter ego, which I think is kind of cool because she was stepping a little bit outside of her comfort zone, let's say. My everything, she teased the bad bitch energy with songs like Best Mistake, but I think on Dangerous Woman, she was like, the bad bitch is here to stay, you know? Like, this was ultimate bad beat Ariana. Who would have thought like a high pony and a latex bunny mask would just be an insane combo, you know? Like, it just eats, it just works so well. As she was stepping into a new era with Dangerous Woman compared to her debut and sophomore album, this album cover needed to make a statement in itself, and I think she definitely achieved that because it just gives a level of confidence that we hadn't seen in her previous records. The whole cover art for this album is just stunning. Like, just gives what it needs to give. Do you guys even remember the Dangerous Woman a cappella version on YouTube that everyone was obsessed with? I feel like it broke the internet at the time because her vocals were insane, and she also looked so stunning in the bunny mask and the dress. Like, it was just such a great time to be alive. Every single music video for the Dangerous Woman era also was fantastic. I don't think there was one music video that I didn't enjoy. I think I'm actually gonna rewatch them again because they all added to the aesthetic, and they all had the same messaging and just was the perfect fitting video for the song. And it was so 2016 coded, especially the music video for Into You is just peak pop perfection. Ariana Grande was that girl during this era. Like, everyone wanted to emulate her style. Everyone wanted to be friends with her. Like, she was constantly on Snapchat, on Instagram, on Twitter. She was always on Twitter, guys. Do you remember? She would tweet us all the time and talk to us and like just be super interactive with fans. And I think that was such a special time to be alive, because now she barely talks to us, you know? I mean, and rightfully so, because the internet is quite brutal and has been brutal to her, but I think, yeah, it was a great time that we had her like on Snapchat consistently and making funny home videos or videos behind the scenes on tour or just in her car with her friends. It was just a great time. From the music to the fashion to the whole aesthetic and branding of the Dangerous Woman era, Ariana did what she had to do. She was the pop girl and everyone and anyone was obsessed with her. And I think this was an important album for her to make because although she had strayed away from the victorious Cat Valentine persona in My Everything, I think Dangerous Woman sort of solidified that she was no longer that like teen child star, you know. She was actually like seriously deep in this music thing and taking it very seriously. It was a very, very huge era for Ariana's career. It's interesting that there's been like two times in Ariana's career, whether it was the Sweetener / Thank You Next era and then the Dangerous Woman era, where her music and her popularity was so high, but she was also experiencing a lot with her personal life and like with the tragic event at the Manchester bombing. So I just think it's insane that those like quite literal opposite things has happened in her career twice now, and or maybe even more times because of the divorce and the Wicked stuff. She has experienced so much at such a young age and in such a short space of time, but she has still continued to rise on top, and that I just have nothing but respect for her. And don't forget, Miss Girl was 22/23 during the Dangerous Woman era. She was a baby. I'm 27 now. I can barely imagine even handling any of the things that she faced during this era, and I am 27 and she was 22/23. Like, that's crazy. She definitely deserves her flowers for this era and what she did for the culture. I'll forever give Ariana her flowers because she's my fave. I'll end this era with my favorite songs from this album. Those include Thinking About You, Every Day, Greedy, Touch It. I feel like I'm gonna name the whole album. Moonlight. No, Moonlight isn't my favorite. New Better and Forever Boy, especially the part 2 version, which is now released. And it's also so nice to see that 2026 Ari paid homage to Dangerous Woman for the 10th anniversary, and she paired it with a white bunny mask, a white latex bunny mask this time. And I thought that's just a cute way to like reminisce and celebrate this album with the rest of us. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know. And I'd love to know what your favorite songs from Dangerous Woman are and what are your favorite moments from the Dangerous Woman era.